What's going on? Jake here with Uncommon EDC, checking out a brand new pouch that's coming out soon from a brand new EDC company called Money Talks EDC. They're based out of Stillwater, Oklahoma, and they're designing and making all of these right here in the USA. So this is going to be their first ever pouch. They have a new one coming soon after that, so definitely working on a lot of different designs. This one's called the Money Shot pouch, and I got it in that royal purple colorway. It's going to run you right around $60, but again, USA made, nice premium materials. We have a 600D canvas on the exterior, a Ripstop nylon on the interior, and YKK zippers, all handmade. Really, really great design. Right on the cusp of being pocketable. It's a little bit larger than you might want in your pocket, but it will fit in a pinch. And so if you're wanting something super pocketable, I would wait for that second pouch. But this one is really great size that you can stuff a decent amount into. And because of that extra height, you can put really full size gear instead of kind of mini gear that you have to sometimes squeeze into the smaller pouches. And so 4 inches wide by 5.5 inches tall. I'm going to go over the loadout inside as I always do, just to give you an idea of what will fit in the various pockets, but I will also give the dimensions at the end of the video as well. So this green paracord on the zippers is kind of a brand color, and so you'll see that on a lot of their pouches. If you don't like it, you can just untie it. It definitely, with the royal purple, gives it a little bit of a Joker vibe, which I think looks kind of cool. But again, you can just replace it with whatever color paracord you want, or leave it all natural with just the YKK zippers on there. So on the front side of this pouch, we do have a full-length pocket that is going to be good for a flat gear. So you can put cash, cards, coins, USB, small items in here, but the fuller you get it, the less usable this pocket's going to be. So something to keep in mind as you're loading out the pouch. I only have one item in here, which is a pretty cool one. This is from Mummer Knives. The sleeve isn't, but the card itself. And this is a titanium card knife. And so you can see this corner is sharpened with a carbidized edge, because titanium is known for being pretty chippy. That's why you don't see it on a lot of blades, but they did carbidize this edge so that they can put this edge on the corner. And so really cool design. They have a bunch of different designs. If this is something you're interested in, definitely check them out. But as always, I will link to as much as possible, whether I'm an affiliate or not, in the description below. And I should mention that I'm not affiliated with Money Talks EDC in any way. They just sent this out for me to check out and get some feedback, because it is their first pouch. They were looking for some early feedback, and did discuss with them about publishing this before the pouch actually came out. The listing is on the website, but didn't want to kind of spoil anything. I told them I can wait until it actually drops, but they were fine with me releasing this early and actually encouraged me to do so. So let's flip this over. On the back, you have a full Velcro panel, that full 4 inches wide, 5.5 inches tall. I went with some nice bright green patches to match those zipper pulls. So we have the all day, everyday carry from Data Crew. We have the Everyday Adventure Co. brand new patches from him, Ranger Eye, PVC, and matches his new logo. And we also have the Dizziness Wack Designs collaboration. This one you got if you bought all 4 of the cereal patches from them, but wasn't available for sale by itself. But all some really cool patches from those 3 companies. And let's dive into what's actually on the inside. Before I do that though, it is a clamshell opening and one zipper in that clamshell compartment. One other thing to note is these nylon kind of straps that are holding the spine together do have an opening there. So that means that you can use it as a pass-through, so that's a nice benefit. If you have a charging bank or something like that in there, you want to pass it through, charge your phone, that is a nice thing. But the downside of that means that it's even less water resistant. This isn't advertised as being super water resistant, but you see those nice kind of reverse zippers, and the canvas material, if treated correctly, is going to be pretty water resistant, and water will bead right off of that. And then you have this opening. So if you were to drop this in water, it's definitely going to take on water. Wouldn't recommend that, but it is nice that it does double as a pass-through there. So same thing, YKK zipper on the outside of that. I will go through the loadout before I go through the dimensions. If you want the dimensions, skip a little bit ahead, but I'll go through what I loaded out in it first. And so starting on the left-hand side is the Olight i3E EOS. This is a twist-on light from Olight, really cool, tiny flashlight. This is the zombie edition that they were giving away for free in one of the sales, I would imagine October, but I'm not actually sure about that. But cool little flashlight, decently bright, and sits on your keychain wall, really compact. And all three of these, I loaded in these elastic loops. You can see there's a pocket on the bottom that you can put different types of gear in there. I don't have anything in there, but all of these are sitting inside that pocket. If you wanted to, you could load it out where it's in front of the pocket, but I do find if you use all three layers, it does start getting a little bit thick and cumbersome. So I chose to use two of them, but you do have the option of using all three. In the middle pocket, we have the new pry bar from Awesome Hank Gear. Really awesome pry with a PVC bead on there with the new Kraken logo and then the AH for Awesome Hank on the back. I believe he did one with a titanium bead as well. Same pry bar though. Really cool pry bar. It's got a nice point to it for opening packages. Titanium's got that bottle opener as well. And I'm guessing these are tritium slots, although I'm not 100% positive, but would look really killer with a little bit of tritium in there. And lastly, in the elastic pockets, I have the Olight O-Pen Mini, and this is just a mini pen from Olight. It has a bunch of different colors. You can get black or blue ink. It comes with black, but you can buy blue as well. And it is bolt action, tiny little pen, but a fun one. And relatively cheap. I think they're around like 10 or 11 bucks or so when they're in stock, and have done a bunch of different colors of them. Now in the back pockets, you have this full depth, but the material only goes up 3 3/4 of an inch. So it is that full depth, but you can stick out above it like I have. And behind that, you can see that ripstop nylon in that little honeycomb pattern. You can actually see this a little bit better on the black version. And so this was an earlier prototype, but you can see the gray ripstop nylon. You can see that patterning just a little bit better. So in those pockets, I have the Leatherman Skeletal. This is the topo version for my multi-tool. And for a lighter, I went with the Bic Reach. You've probably seen these in a lot of my pouch videos. Big fan of these because they do have that little bit of extra reach for when you're lighting something like a candle. You're not gonna be burning your fingers every time you try and light it. And so do like those quite a bit. Now, the right side is where it gets really interesting, really unique, and very different from a lot of other pouches. I'm going to start in the back, which is pretty similar. This has a 4-inch wide pocket by 3 3/4 inch tall. Have two items in there. First being this Hank from Patch Platoon. Really big fan of the size. I like the design as well, obviously, but just the 3.5 inch by 3.5 inch Hank is something I've been looking for a long time for a Hank that's small enough to fit in these different pouches. I wouldn't mind actually even getting a little bit smaller, but really happy with how this turned out. It has a really plush microfiber on the back as well that's a little bit softer than you're getting on some of the other microfiber cloths. So big fan of that, and also really reasonably priced. He also does some unique shaped Hanks, which I like as well. Behind that, I did have a Write in the Rain notebook. This is their credit card size. It could have fit a bigger one, but these have nice tear out pages and fits in there well. I was already getting pretty full on my loadout, so decided to go smaller, but you can go bigger if you want. One thing I will note is although this technically would fit a log and jotter or field notes based on the specs, as you load it out and the center gets pushed out more and more, the edges get pushed in, and so it ends up being a little bit shorter. So if you stuff a log and jotter in here, by the time you load it out, it's not actually going to zip up, even though they're both 5.5 inches. So want to go with something a little bit smaller, just something to keep in mind, because as I had it loaded out, it was a shade under 5 inches, not the full 5.5 inches, but empty, it does reach that 5.5 inches. Now, that was it in the back pocket. In the front, where it's most interesting, it has a Velcro panel that's the same dimensions, 3 3/4 inches tall by 4 inches wide, and it does come with these straps. So again, when we look at that earlier prototype, you can see the straps that it comes with. It comes with 4 of them. 2 of them are going to be 5 inches long, one's going to be 3 inches long, and one is going to be 2 inches long. And these are really cool because you can put them whatever orientation you want. You can load them up. You can double the straps if you want. So if you have something that doesn't fit in a 5-inch strap, you can put a 5-inch and a 3-inch together to make a larger strap to fit that item. And so it just makes it really modular and versatile, which I like a lot. Now, I did leave one of these empty, and so if you, for example, didn't want to leave your pen in an elastic strap, you can use that smaller 2-inch one to make a loop for your pen, or again, you can attach that to some of the other items. Let's start with this first one. So in here, this is one of the 5-inch straps. I have the JRW Gear Curator Flex. This is the glow-in-the-dark one. Really cool. Just piece of pocket art, really. It doubles as a screw tray pretty nicely, but for the most part, it's just pocket art, and that fits in that 5-inch pocket really well. I should show actually. So if you wanted to, you can attach this other one to lengthen it. And the other thing is, I just unvelcroed it to get it out. You can, like if you have a pen in there, you can just pull this out, use it, and then reattach it. You don't have to slide it out, or you can leave that in there, but you don't actually have to. You can use this with this on there, slap it back when you're done, and be done with it. And then also, once we get that out of there, you can use this to extend some of your other ones. So to do that, you would just attach the loop to the hook side, and now that's a little bit larger. It's obviously not going to be exactly 2 inches larger because I added a 2-inch one and there is some overlap, but you can definitely fit a thicker, larger item than what I previously had in there, which I really like. And he's also going to be selling, or they, I'm not sure how many of them there are, but the person I talked to, I know they have a listing on the website already for more of these straps, so you can buy more. And I'm not sure if they're going to be cut your own length or you'll just get a pack like this yet, but there is a web listing for that already. Now, last 2 items down here. The first one on the right, I'm just going to slide it out of here, is from Countycom. This is a bit driver that is really cool. I've been on the search for more of these for a while, so has Conan's EDC, but they sold these years ago on their website, a bunch of different colors. I have 3 of them. It has a keychain attachment in the corner, and it's just a tiny, tiny bit driver. And what I like so much about it is it can fit in a lot of small spots, but you can still get a decent amount of leverage. It's so small you wouldn't think so, but because it's 2 ways, you can turn it either way and get a decent amount of leverage on it. And so these are really, really great. If you know of anyone who's selling them, definitely let me know. But I'd imagine eventually we'll start seeing someone 3D print these, because it seems like it would be something that would be pretty easy to 3D print, just not sure how durable that would compare to regular plastic. I'm not sure if 3D printing's as strong. It might be, but I just don't have enough experience with it. Now lastly is another Countycom item. This one is still available, and this is their Delrin box. And so this has a ball detent on each side to keep it sealed. You can hear it rattling, so if you heard the pouch rattling, this is what it was. You can stop that by stuffing some cotton or something in there with the items, but I didn't do that. It has a nice topo pattern on the top, and we'll do half stop, a full stop, and then you can slide it all the way off. In there I have some bits to use alongside that bit driver, and you can see I went with some common sizes. We have a T6, a T8, and a T10, as well as a Phillips and flathead screwdriver. And so just a couple nice options. You can fit 1 more in there. You can fit 6 of them as long as you stagger them like I have them. But I feel like that covers most of what I'm going to be using on a daily basis, so didn't bother with a 6th one. But as you can see, that's everything I have in the pouch. Let's talk about the measurements quickly, and then we will get out of here. But on the left-hand side, you have a full depth pocket that's 3 3/4 inches. So you can see it's just a hair under a 1/4 inch under 4 inches. Now this is not full width. There's a divider sewn in right here. And so you can see I can't get past that. Now that divider is going to be a little over 2 inches, 2 1/8 or so. And then the second section is about 1.5 inches wide. And so that divider is only sewn into the top bit. So if you have an item that's a little bit wider on the bottom, thinner on the top, you can curve it into there and cross over. And so you can see the ruler now is right here in this corner. It doesn't extend all the way down. In the front, we have this bottom pocket that's the full width again, about 2 1/4 inch. This 1 inch elastic loop is the first section 1 1/8 inch long, the second section just a hair under 1.5, I guess 1 3/8 or so, and then about 1.5 inches wide. And on the right side, we have a 3 3/4 inch tall, although you can utilize that extra space if you want, as well as a 4 inch wide pocket. And again, these elastic straps and the Velcro on the front is gonna be the same. The elastic straps, you get a 5 inch, a 5 inch, a 2 inch, and a 3 inch. And you can just buy your own also if you don't wanna use theirs. Now theirs is a really cool one. It's got this kind of backing that's not super grippy onto materials that it's not supposed to grip on, which I really like. And then the Velcro side, the loop side, is super soft. Or I guess this is probably the hook side, super soft. And so like the material quite a bit, but big fan of this, especially as a first pouch. They've definitely done their research and are sending it out to people who carry a lot of pouches to give feedback. Leave a comment down below with any feedback you have. I'd love to hear it, but I'm sure they would as well because they are a new company that's working on a lot of new designs. If you want to find this, they don't have an email notification list yet, but you can follow them on Instagram. There's where they're going to announce the drops. I'll put a link to that in the description as well, and that's going to be your best way to find out when they're dropping. But again, should be weeks, not months, so coming soon, and then shortly after that you'll see the pocket money pouch coming out. But thanks so much for watching. As always, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification button, and I hope you have a great one. Take care.